What up, guys? This is the Wall Street Kid here, and I'm going to show you how I went from working 3 jobs to owning 2 of my own businesses just by using one principle out of this book, and I'm going to show you in 3 minutes, so stay tuned. So one of the things he does in this book is he actually takes 10% of everything he makes and he saves it up for 1 year, and he actually buys his first business. And he basically just repeats the process, and that's exactly what I did. So I read this book. One of my mentors actually recommended this book to me. And I basically just saved my money. I got an extra job. I basically paid myself first before I paid any of my bills, before I paid anything. And I basically bought my first business. I actually bought a food stand. And after I bought the food stand, I basically saved 10% from that food stand. I actually ended up buying my first coffee bar. So now I have a food stand and a coffee bar, which I'm going to show you in this video. So basically all he did was just repeat this process and continue to buy businesses until eventually he owned several businesses, and it was basically the simplest thing. Now, it was very hard work, but if you just take one principle out of this book, which is just basically saving 10% of your income and buy your first business, and then use that money to buy a second business, it's basically copy and paste. It's so simple that it's really even hard to mess up, even for someone who's a novice. So I know what you're thinking is, how do I get started? What do I do? So if you already have income, or if you have a job, whatever you're doing, like me, I was working 3 jobs. And what I did was I was just saving money so I could buy my first business. However, what I didn't know is that there's a lot of ins and outs to it. The best thing I could tell you is something one of my mentors told me, Tai Lopez. If you ever follow Tai Lopez, I consider him to be one of my mentors. He used the KSE strategy, which is you get the knowledge and you come up with a strategy and then you execute. So using those 3, or that principle, the KSE, and one principle out of this book, you can own your first business. And let me tell you that working for yourself, there's nothing better than working for yourself. It is the best thing and the most rewarding thing you can ever do. Once I started working for myself, I pretty much got addicted to it. I didn't want to work for anybody ever again. So it pretty much spoiled me. And basically I started doing that just by starting reading books. So just like Tai Lopez talks about the KSE, first you got to get the knowledge. So I started reading any and every business book I could find. I would highly recommend it. So there's several principles in this book. However, I just gave you one today, and that one principle is enough to really start your first business. However, it will be hard, but this process is very simple. So I learned just from reading this one book of how to start I didn't actually learn how to start my first business, but I actually had enough knowledge of just to start a business that just by using this one principle in this book, I was able to basically copy and paste and buy my second business, and now I'm working on my third.
So this is my actual food stand. This is the first one I bought. So I used it to basically buy the second one, so kind of upgraded everything, as you can see here. So it's pretty legit. This is how I first started. Bought this one piece at a time, pretty much. So this is the second one. This is the actual coffee bar. After I bought my first stand, I used all the money I made from that one to buy this. A lot of work. A lot of work. But it pays off in the end.
So there you have it. You've seen both my foods. You've seen my food stand and my coffee stand. How I started them, how I got them up and running. Basically using that one principle out of the book, The Richest Man in Babylon. And I listened to a lot of Tai Lopez on just best things you could do before the KSE strategy and just things like that. And that's the best thing I could recommend is just get your knowledge first, then come up with the strategy and then execute. Thank you to Tai Lopez. He's a great mentor. If you don't know who he is, look him up. And that's a wrap. If you want to buy this book, you can buy it right here. Also subscribe down here. I'll leave a link in the description. Stay tuned. We're going to be doing cash prize giveaways, gift card giveaways. We'll be doing watch lists, stock charts, anything you can think of. We're going to be doing vlogs, nightlife, just basically day-to-day of my life. Show you how it works, how to make your own business, how to start your own business, anything you can think of.